I have a very astute political analyst, Mr. Matthew. Mr. Matthew, welcome.
Thank you for having me, Mr. Lee.
All right. To our viewers, if you're just joining, please kindly like, subscribe, and share. We are going to talk about what is going on in the Nigerian atmosphere. And most importantly, we need to bring the news as it is to our diaspora viewers. Yesterday, let us start from the direction. Yesterday, the Sultan has come out to say that the social media is the platform for terrorists. That I don't know your reaction to that.
I must say that it's quite unfortunate see such statement coming from somebody who should know better. And why such statement is not good, is not heard, is because you understand that traditional rulers are supposed to be moral standard for the people.
Indeed.
They have a responsibility to direct the people on the right path of life. We understand that social media have played a significant role in shaping the modern society positively, even in the area of federal government of Nigeria leveraging on it to rake in revenue.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you that last year, Nigerian government raking about 3 trillion from social media for the first 9 months of the year.
Can you imagine?
So it goes to show that either the Sultan is playing politics or he have some ulterior motive.
Well, you said the Sultan is playing politics, but people who have actually reacted to that statement of the Sultan, they are saying, could it be that the Sultan is trying to bring down a media that had exposed the excesses of the Fulani bandits? Because in this case, it seems like he is shielding his own. Could that be the reason?
It is still in the angle of playing politics for the purpose of elaborating it.
Yeah.
We understand that recently we saw a Catholic priest talking about Reverend Alfred, who went to the United States of America, of course, true. United Congress, to bring to the world knowledge, the travail of the Christian minorities in the North. And you understand that the excesses of herders in the North, in the South, in anywhere they have their operation, is made known to the world through social media. I will understand that the Sultan himself, of course, is a Fulani man. So we are not directly saying that is the reason he have done that. But if you look at what has transpired, one will be tempted to believe that it is a way of trying to shield his own.
Okay. I mean, in the last 1 year, there has been a series of attacks. And these attacks, as of today, do not seem to be coincidental, but it seems they are systematic. Because in 2010, one professor who worked as a minister with Buhari, as Professor Pantani, was caught to have been the one to send out those communiques that the Christian territory, or should I say the Christian concentration in the Middle Belt, needs to be cleared out. And ever since 2010 to this very day, which is 15 years later, we have been seeing incessant attacks on Christian communities. But to my surprise, the Sultan did not talk about the Plateau incidents. Is this just maybe a mistake? Because I don't know what to say.
Don't forget that the same Mr. Pantami is the one who in the past prayed for Taliban success. I understand that even currently
Taliban success?
Success of Taliban in Afghanistan.
Wow.
I understand that currently Taliban already formed government since America put out of Afghanistan. But again, if you take a critical look at the killing in Nigeria, particularly the Christian dominated parts of the country in the north, if you look at this recent issue that happened in Bokos and Bassa local government areas of Plateau State, the governor talking about Mufuan came out clearly to say this is genocidal Fulani invasion. Genocidal Fulani invasion. And meaning it's genocide.
Done by Fulani.
Yes. So from what we are seeing, it is taking a very strange dimension. And I think the government, as a matter of urgency and necessity, need to swing into action. Because it doesn't matter how you look at it. The president, talking about Senator Bola Tinubu, has sworn to an oath to protect lives and property. That he must do without excuse, because it behoves on it to do it. And let me quickly say that even when he does that, he's not doing anybody any good. It is a responsibility that's incumbent on his office. So to that extent, I think I align myself with the position of the Northern Elders Forum, who knocked the president for their inability to protect lives and property. And again, let me tell you that as a country, we must possess monopoly of coercive power. That is what made the country ultimate. Look at the likes of Toji Bello, who have been wreaking havoc in parts of Zamfara State. I understand that the military have said that they're closing in on him, but it's not a record that he has been arrested or he's under prosecution. And this same man who celebrated burning down a military vehicle and is still working freely. So what I'm trying to say in essence is it will embolden people to do more. And if you look at what is happening currently, it's on record that about 250 communities have been sacked in this renewed attack or hostility against host communities in some parts of the country. And about 6,000 persons are currently displaced in different IDP camps, talking about internally displaced persons camp.
Well, this seems to be more serious than I thought. One other question that I have for you before we go into other incidents going on in the Nigerian, as it were, is about Plateau. You know, the DSS surprisingly said, we cannot help you. Caleb Mofwang, the current governor of Plateau State, I said, defend yourself.
On that angle, if you permit me to jump in, I think I salute the courage of the current Director General of DSS, talking of Ajayi,
Yes.
who came out clearly to say, yes, going forward, the approach to addressing this challenge, let us make the communities the first line of defense. You get two instances, one in Tafawa Balewa local government, one in Bauchi local government,
Yes.
where the communities successfully repel invaders. And according to an up-to-date, those communities have not witnessed any invasion of any form. We understand that it's all over the media space that the Fulani militia of Nigerian extraction is the fourth most dangerous terrorist organization in the world. And unfortunately, Nigerian government are not dealing with them with that seriousness that they deserve. I understand that someone like the chairman of Militias is currently under detention, though he has not been prosecuted. Though the way, from what we understand, the military accuse him of banditry. We understand that in Nigeria, one is innocent until proven otherwise by a court of competent jurisdiction, that is in Nigerian legal jurisprudence. But let me say that since this nascent democracy in 1999, this is the first time we are seeing a serious and conscious effort from government to challenge or arrest the chairman of Militias, talking about Bodejo, even if he has not been tried. But I think for the first instance, he has been arrested, and the government have since secured a court order to keep him for 2 months to enable them to conclude investigation. I'm not pronouncing it anyway, but I'm saying that if someone is accused, we should not have anybody that is above the law. He should face the music.
This is a serious matter. So to our viewers, please, if you're just joining, kindly like, subscribe, and share. And a disclaimer, this channel is not a channel that criminalizes or profiles all Fulanis as bad people. We are simply out here to dish out the news as it is, that we indeed have some Fulanis who are bad. And of course, they are tarnishing the image of the remaining good Fulanis out there. Pastor Matthew, away from Plateau State, you know, we have had other instances of insecurities, even at Edo, Bini, and the likes. The Ekobolo has now withdrawn guns from all these vigilantes in Uromi and even in other communities in Edo State. And I'm equally aware that you're from Delta. You share a border with Edo State. Do you think this is the right decision taken by Ekobolo to withdraw the guns of vigilantes? What if there are future attacks?
I'm going to tell you that it's a worrisome situation. I'm going to tell you that the governor must look for ways to bring security, to address the insecurity in those areas. Because as we speak, it's on record that there is a recent discovery where about 4 persons were caught with arms. Though the police have since come out to clarify that these are hunters from Kano who perhaps came for a hunting expedition. But again, you begin to ask, if you are given license to operate in Kano as a hunter in Nigeria legal jurisprudence, does that license permit you to go to Edo State to hunt? And if the license does not permit you, it means the police in that state have a responsibility to charge them for illegal possession of arms. That is on one hand. Then to address the issue you raised pertaining to how the people be policed, saying that the governor, as a response to the lynching of those 16 persons in the state have withdrawn guns from the local vigilantes. I'm going to tell you that it is a worrisome situation, because as we speak, we have a situation where some villages in that same Edo state, in Asian land, I saw a viral video where people were virtually going into the bush to see whether they could rescue their community members who are kidnapped with bare hands. And they were even begging the governor that even if it's then going to give us. So, you know, we have been talking about the jigging of security architecture. I think it's better time to do it. Because we are seeing, for instance, in the southwestern part of the country, where they came together through their respective House of Assembly, came up with Amatekun. But it was worrisome that under Muhammadu Buhari, the federal government did not allow Amatekun to bear arms. Because we understand that for you to buy AK-47, AK-49 to combat crime at that level, you need an end user certificate that normally comes from the Office of the National Security Advisor. That they couldn't get under Muhammadu Buhari. I understand that the former governor of Ondo State, talking about Akeredolu, may so rest in peace,
Amen,
was at loggerhead with Buhari then, that if you could allow civilian JTF in the north to bear arms, why is it that Amatekun, that is a creation of House of Assembly in the southwest, cannot bear arms? Now going back to Edo State. If we are seeing this level of challenge in the southwest, remember that Sheyi Makinde the other day raised alarm that bandits who have been dislodged in the north are already hibernating in southwestern forest. Remember that as at then, Amatekun raised about 2,000 men to comb southwestern forest as a way of dislodging them. So in the face of this imminent challenge that is already with us, I think the work the governor would have done is to look for a way to regulate the conduct and use of those arms rather than withdrawing it. Because for me, it's going to be counterproductive.
Indeed, because I know that there was a time that your brother Ned Nwoko pushed a bill. He called it Nigerians should have right to own guns. But we know those in the Senate that went against such a bill vehemently. They said there's no way that Nigerians are supposed to bear arms. Mr. Machi, do you think Nigerians have not gone to that stage, that a bill that Ned Nwoko pushed should be supported? And then why are the Northerners against this bill? Because they were the ones that actually against it.
Okay, I think we have gotten to that stage. Because if you look at the position of the Director General of GSS, talking about Ajayi, I think it's in that direction. Because he said he has even started practicing it in his own locality. What we are saying is, nobody say you should give an arm without regulation, without monitoring how it's being used, but the need for communities to bear arms cannot be emphasized. See what is happening? I remember the time of Darasi Shako as governor of Taraba State, when the military came to him to seek his cooperation to disarm citizens who may be possessing arms illegally. He challenged them. He said, first of all, go and disarm bandits, terrorists, Boko Haram, who are in the bushes, hibernating in the forest, because you cannot disarm innocent Nigerians, citizens in Taraba State. At the end of the day, at the dead of the night, bandits will come and start dragging them out of their homes and start slaughtering them. You will render them defenseless. They will be at the mercy of the bandits. In the same vein, that's his position is still valid today. So I think the position of the Director General of GSS is valid, and the essence of it cannot be overemphasized, and the need is now.
So you agree that Ned Nwoko bill for Nigerians to bear arms should be pushed again?
I agree. That, however,
the
usage should be regulated.
But the Northerners are against it, just as the way they opposed community policing, state policing.
But the Northerners at this point should realize that they do not own Nigeria.
Can you say that? Can you confidently say that?
No, I can say it. And
have you forgotten that El-Rufai issued a word that he said that nobody can become a president if the Northerners do not approve of it?
It is irrelevant whether the Northerners approve of it. We understand that when it comes to the power to hire the president, which of course rests with Nigerians, the electorate, it is not limited to the Northerners. The point here is, even El-Rufai himself, in a video, made it very clear that the only repentant bandit is the dead one. That his own ideology is to kill them, send them to God. So if somebody who have been in the saddle, who have governed a state that is plagued by the activities of these Fulani Militias, by the activities of these bandits, could be saying this, I think we should know the momentum of what Nigerians are facing.
Okay. We are going to be wrapping up any moment from now. Viewers, please, if you're just joining, please kindly like, subscribe, and share to the channel. Mr. Matthew, I really appreciate your contribution so far. But on a last note, I don't know if you have seen the new conditions that I think some Fulani elites, this went viral. The video is on the screen there, where they are asking that for this issue of banditry to actually reduce in Nigeria as it were, because I don't think we can actually just streamline this issue of banditry to middle belt. That for it to reduce, that communities must begin to seed lands for cattle grazing. That this is what they need.
I think that must be totally discouraged because we understand, judging by antecedent of Fulani herdsmen or Fulani generally, any land you give them access to, they possess it and they claim it over the years. So the point is, that is where we have problem in Nigeria, if I must tell you. Because even if you say you want to go about ranching, I don't think it will be fashionable in the southern part of the country. Because no community in Nigeria, particularly in the south, whether I call it southwest, southeast, no community is ready to have Fulani as their next neighbor.
But these people are Nigerians.
Let us get it right. Even if you say they are Nigerians, at what point do you differentiate between a Fulani militia, a killer herdsman, and the normal Fulani man? I think the burden of even identifying, dealing with them should even rest with the normal Fulani man, who of course own the name that is being dragged in the mud. But currently, the next question, once you see an attack that bear the symbol of terrorism, the next thing is Fulani herdsmen. Though I've seen a viral video of a Fulani young man who lamented about the frustration of the Fulani ethnicity as being profiled. He was trying to explain that not every Fulani is bad. Yes, I think I agree with that statement. But the point is, does it behove on me, a Southerner, to identify the bad Fulani? I think that responsibility should rest with the federal government and the Fulanis, who of course can identify a Fulani man who is coming from Niger, Burkina Faso, as the case may be. We have seen a viral video of a traditional ruler the other time in Taraba State calling out the Bororo Fulani species and giving them ultimatum to vacate their communities within 30 days. So these are people who even know them better. So if they do not want to have them as their next neighbor, how can you not put them to the south in the name of ranching to have them in your backyard as your neighbor?
But this ranching, it's going to be regulated, it's going to be fenced. I think for us to retain a nation that is united, that is peaceful, I think we need to create a space in our hearts and in our land. We are not selling it, probably leasing it. Don't you think
once you allow the Fulani man access to your land, it becomes their ancestral home. Places where they have not even gotten that footprint, they are sacking communities and taking it over. Have you not heard or read that some places is even the place too, the name of the community have been renamed? And look at the land raised by Mufua, talking about the governor of Plateau.
Yeah.
That what we saw the other day was purely a genocide. So I think Nigerians, particularly Southerners, should be careful.
Well, your submission reminds me of the prophecy of the prophet of our time, as in Nnamdi Kanu, because I said there was a time he came out and he was screaming that the Fulani bandits will encroach indeed the southwest. They will encroach indeed the southeastern forest. Unfortunately, it seems this is the order of the day. Last words, because I don't want us to just talk about problems. What is your ultimate solution? Is it separation? Is it regionalism? Or I don't know. I'm confused.
Okay. First of all, let me start by saying that I see Nnamdi Kanu as a man who saw tomorrow. Well, virtually everything he talked about in terms of invasion of communities by herders has come to pass. That is the truth.
That's true.
You may like his face or you may not like his face, but that doesn't take away the point that almost everything he said has come to pass. Coming to the solution. One, I've said it before now, that it behoves on government to protect lives and property, and that they must do without excuse. And in doing that, they must strive to possess monopoly of coercive power as a way of policing every inch of Nigerian sovereignty and integrity. Then, on the contrary, if they know they are not able to do it, they should allow people who are agitating to go. Because for me, there is no crime in self-determination. Of course, we have a UN charter that talks about self-determination, which Nigerian government is already signatory to. To that extent, it's already a law in Nigerian legal jurisprudence. I'll give you an instance. There was a time where about 19 state attorney generals dragged federal government to court, challenging them about the legality of EFCC and financial intelligence units, even ICPC, based on the fact that they were formed through acts of UN convention.
Yeah.
The same way a UN convention gave us this self-determination. But when the matter got to Supreme Court, in the wisdom of Supreme Court said, hence it is a UN charter that has been ratified in Nigeria, that it is binding on all the 36 states without exception. And that rested the matter. So if you have a situation where a UN charter that talks about self-determination has been ratified in Nigeria, and somebody come through that angle and he have not done anything outside the ambits of the law, I think the person have not committed any offense, whether locally or internationally. So in the nutshell, if federal government know that they don't have the capacity to police every inch of Nigerian sovereign territorial integrity and Nigerians' lives are being lost on daily basis, they should allow people to go. Then the third option is devolution of power.
Decentralization?
Devolution of power.
Okay.
Some people call it restructuring.
Okay.
It means different things to different people. Some people in Nigeria Delta will tell you resource control. But the bottom line is federal government should share some weights. As we speak, you have about 68 items on exclusive legislative list, which include the security